We're through the first 3 games of the World Series, and this has been a pretty interesting series so far, so let's just get right into this video. Let's cover Game 1, because it's a really interesting game across the board, and honestly, Arizona definitely should have won this game, in my opinion. I mean, the Rangers, had some really good clutch hits at the end of this game, but man, Arizona just played better baseball, in this game, I think, in my opinion. Because I look at this Arizona baseball team, and you gotta think, I think they play better as a team. I know the Rangers have, that star, potential, that star player potential. It's kind of what the Braves, Dodgers, and Phillies all had in common. They have that star potential, and they don't really play that well as a team, which is something the Diamondbacks do a great job of. I mean, you look at this roster, and you realize that all these guys, there's not a star player on this team. Yeah, Corbin Carroll maybe, maybe you could say Ketel Marte maybe. But man, you look at this roster and they all just play well though. If everyone's playing well, this team is winning the game. It's kind of crazy to think about. They're doing that really well in this game 1. I mean, they were moving guys over, they were getting base hits, they were stealing bags. I don't think they've got caught stealing once this whole postseason. We even saw bunts from a couple guys on the team. They were just really good at moving guys over and just really solid as a team. And on the pitching side, Gallen, he had an okay start. He gave up 3 runs, I think. Not terrible on that side, but way better than I thought he was going to do. It just really came down to that last 9th inning. I mean, Paul Sewald came in. I felt confident of him, actually being able to win the game for them. He started out pretty well, and then the Seager thing happened, or he walked Tavares first, and then the Seager home run happened. So that was kind of unfortunate for him. I think that's his first blown save since the trade deadline, since he got traded to the D-backs, which is pretty impressive, to be honest, that he's able to sustain that throughout the whole season and the postseason. So that's a pretty impressive stat overall. But it just wasn't the time to blow an important game like that, So kind of unfortunate that that happens, and then they really can't score again in extra innings. So first game to go to extras this postseason. Texas is going to win that one 6-5. I mean, really good game, man. Texas was hitting well. Don't get me wrong. I was being all negative about them, but they were hitting well as a team, and they're obviously, I mean, Texas is more of a home run kind of ball team. They can score around the bases a lot with hits and stuff, but they're really, I think, more about the doubles and home runs than at least than the Diamondbacks are. I mean, look at this game too. I mean, it's very similar to the game 1. I mean, when you lose that tough one, it's kind of tough. You kind of have to bounce back, right? That's exactly what happens. AZ wins this one at 9-1 over Texas, and honestly, there was no Texas offense in this game at all. I think they had 3 base runners or 3 hits or whatever. Gardner obviously had the home run. He was the only guy that did anything. Once again, live and die by the home run ball. And they had 2 other hits in this game. I mean, Merrill Kelly pitched an absolute insane game overall. I mean, just insanely pitched game. So Kelly goes 7 innings. He only gives up 1 run, which is the home run to Gardner. Gets 9 strikeouts through 7. He only gives up 3 hits. So really impressive for him. Montgomery didn't have the same time. Gave up 4 runs in this one. Kind of unfortunate. They pitch well. So only using 3 pitchers, with Kelly, Sal Frank, and Freese. So Diamondbacks looking solid. And yeah, I mean, they just pitched well this game. Yeah, I mean, once again, this is a perfect example of the team hitting well. You know what I'm saying? Perfect example of the team hitting well. I mean, everyone pretty much had a base knock. I mean, Pham was 4 for 4 in game 2. Absolutely insane. Then Jace Peterson was able to get his first AB pinch hitting for him, which is pretty cool that he let him do that. I think a lot of guys would not let a teammate try to pinch hit for him, because I think if Pham got another hit, he'd be 5 for 5, which is the first time ever in a World Series. But he wanted to get his teammate Jace Peterson in there to get his first World Series AB, which is pretty cool. And then, like I said, everyone else pretty much had a hit on this roster. 16 hits throughout this game. The only one not to get hit was Jace Peterson in that pinch hit. So literally everyone had a base hit, or a hit in general. So pretty impressive from Arizona. Just really solid offense overall. And most of the runs did come in the 7th, 8th, and 9th. But still, they're able to get the job done once again and tie the series up. So going into Game 3 of the World Series, obviously the Rangers win this one 3-1. It definitely was an interesting game. I mean, we obviously had a lot of injuries on the Rangers side, which we'll get to in a little bit. But man, I mean, both these teams are playing pretty well baseball. Diamondbacks got to get the bats going. They only had 6 hits this game. Not a whole lot of damage being done. They only got 1 run because I think Rivera got a double and then someone brought him in. I think it was the 7th or 8th inning at that point. So I think it was the 2nd or 3rd inning. Nathaniel Lowe was able to get a nice double, and then Marcus Semien drives him in for the first run, and then Corey Seager once again gives a nice 2-run shot into the right field stand. So really good job from them to actually be able to get some manufactured runs right there. And that's really all they needed. They only needed the 3 runs to really be able to win this game. But yeah, let's talk about these injuries now from the Rangers side. Obviously, Max Scherzer was able to get hit in the back. He got hit in the elbow. He turned, and it looked like it hit him in the elbow and back a little bit, and then obviously they were able to get that out. Josh Young was able to make a nice play. It was insane. It was like Manny Machado kind of play you'd see on the Orioles. So Nice play over there from him. Then Adolis Garcia, I think he got up and he swung and like he hurt something in his back. The reports right now are saying he might be out for the rest of the series, which obviously would, people are going to be like, oh my God, he's going to be out for the series, they're going to lose, right? I don't think so. I really don't think so. I mean, the guy replacing him is Travis Jankowski. He's not the superstar potential, but the 2 at-bats he's had in this whole postseason was he almost hit a home run against the Astros, and Kyle Tucker barely robbed it in right field, and he got a base hit. So that's a pretty good record. He also batted really well in the regular season playing left field. So people don't remember this kind of stuff. But I'm very high on Travis Jankowski. He's one of my favorite players on the Rangers right now. And I think he's going to do solid. I'm not worried at all from him. He might hit a little bit lower in the lineup or something like that. But I'm not really worried at all if he has to start in game 4 or 5. I think he's going to do fine. And I think they're still going to have a good offense. I don't think it kills them that much. The Max Scherzer thing might hurt a little bit more on the pitching side. He's supposed to start game 7, so we'll see if he's able to start that game. Jon Gray did come in, after he came out and pitched 3 innings, the same as Scherzer. So if worst case scenario, Jon Gray would start game 7, but they're both insanely good pitchers. We'll see what happens. You can kind of tell if Jon Gray doesn't come out of the bullpen. I don't think he'll pitch in Arizona, to be honest. It seems a little weird if he's coming out of the book because he just pitched like 3 innings, so he's not going to pitch tomorrow. But yeah, he wouldn't pitch game 4, game 5, probably not, because he just came out. So we'll see. He should pitch game 7 if Max Scherzer's injured. I don't think it puts that big of a damper on the bullpen. But it takes away one less arm probably with Jon Gray going to the starting pitching role. So that's something you got to keep in mind. Martin Perez hasn't really looked good either. So you're kind of 2 starting pitching guys you thought were going to be pretty decent. Are not going to be there probably to pitch anymore. So that's something you got to think about if you're Bruce Bochy. With this bullpen and all the situations and stuff like that, you're gonna have to manage these games pretty interestingly over the next couple of days. So it's gonna be a hard challenge for them to overcome, but this is why you have a good bench. I always say, like, you have a good bench, you've got a good shot to win. The Diamondbacks, have a pretty solid bench over there. Good, young guys, first round picks with Jordan Lawler and Jace Peterson. So they got a good bench as well. There's a lot of teams that have some pretty good benches across the league, but injuries are going to happen, and you got to be prepared. And I think the Rangers do have a pretty solid bench. So we'll see what happens. Adolis could DH too. We'll see. Obviously the reports, have been kind of interesting because it just happened, yesterday. So the reports have been pretty interesting. So we'll see what happens. He could DH though, maybe game 6 or game 7 if it does go that far. That's kind of the injury report that we have right now. But moving forward in game 4 and game 5, the Rangers once again have not lost on the road. So if that stat keeps going, game 5 should be the end of the World Series, which would be kind of crazy to think about. When these teams score first, they don't lose. The Rangers are 9-0 when scoring first in the postseason, and the Diamondbacks are 7-0 scoring first in the postseason. Stat keeps in line, which it seems like it has. And the person that scores first in game 4 will most likely win. So keep that in mind when you're going through these games, as that's a key factor of a stat that is still in play, which is kind of crazy to think about. A lot of interesting stats coming on through. Game 3 is officially over. We only got 4 more games of baseball until the winter, so that's a little unfortunate. Man, who do y'all think is going to win this series? Rangers currently up 2-1 as we go into the game 4 tonight. I'm pretty excited for this one. I mean, the pitching matchup's not the best, but we'll see who's going to come out on top. But let me know who you guys think is going to win in the comment section below. If you guys do enjoy this video, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, everyone.